Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3, where today, with the bulk of our talking done, we once again sink into the depths of the Underdark. Perhaps literally, if some of this scenery is to be taken at face value. That said, our primary goal today is to seek out the fate of Bailen. And then, if we have some time left over, we'll go out on a limb, grab some susser bark. Anyway, first things first, we have no idea how big this northwest sector is. So let's head for this obvious climb path and check it out. Oh, also, I should note, I did do a bit more trading off screen. So many people were talking up the Stormy Clamor boots and the Shade Spell circlet that I figured, what the heck? We'll give them a shot. They were pretty cheap. Barely put a dent in the hoard. The Helmet of Smite's been sent back to camp. But the Featherfall boots have been added to our ever-expanding arsenal of utility items. That said, on we go.
Need to find a way forward.
Alright, so what's going on with this bone-strewn pit?
Looking into the hole, you see only darkness. It's impossible to tell how deep it goes by sight alone.
Hello?
Your call echoes as it plunges downward, before gradually fading away.
Huh. Weird. Okay, well that's probably normal and fine. As is whatever's going on over here.
Sharp, deep, and still fresh. Some monster did this, marking its territory.
Uh-huh. You know what? I think, we'll just leave those there. I have at least tempered my hoarding instincts enough to not put dismembered limbs in my backpack anymore. At least while people are watching. And we have more bibber bang. Ah, yep, that tracks. Those things definitely have a very pulsating, poisonous look to them. Oh gosh, so that lower cavern over there is just stuffed full of bibberbang. That can't bode well for Bailen. Also, will this disperse, or do I need to find some other way to get rid of it? I thought blowing up the bibberbangs might be the best way to get past them, but not if that creates perpetually lingering poison. Wait, maybe we can burn it. Is poison gas flammable in BG3? Oh, wait, never mind. It actually settled whilst I was overthinking it. Which honestly is just as well, because it turns out we can't actually decouple Glut. I mean, he's probably immune, but why take that chance? Gosh darn it. That's where we fought Philro over there. Maybe the Hook Horrors are the ones who marked the territory on this side? Though that wouldn't explain the pit. The pit is more of a purple worm or a bullet type of thing. Oh, maybe it was the bullet. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, look at this mess. Oh, hey, and there he is. Bailen, I presume. Along with some other potential points of interest, but my goodness, how in the world are we even supposed to get to him? Oh, and there is a very conspicuously burning torch in back. If this stuff is flammable.
Stop! Stop! Bibberbang!
You recognize the name. Bibberbang, a mushroom that releases dangerous spores. Highly flammable.
Right, well that answers that. My friend, you have gotten yourself into quite a situation here.
I know that! Scroll! Escape! My bag, please! I've dropped it! Somewhere!
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll look around for it.
Thank you! Thank you!
I mean, we could have given him one of ours, but why do that if we can just find another one lying around here somewhere? All right, let's get a closer look.
I need that bag!
Ah, shovel. Shovel still sets them off. That's disappointing. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I guess it is just proximity that sets these things off, not size, weight, or sound. But there's our backpack. It's right there. Oh, what if we're invisible? No. Right, because plants don't have eyeballs. All right, let's try something else. Oh, what about Mage Hand?
Assume nothing. Onward.
Ooh, okay, so it must be the vibrations of walking near the mushrooms that triggers them. Wish there was some way we could have figured that out, aside from just trial and error. Like a nature check or something. Oh, hey, there he goes.
Oh, I'm all right. Get out of here! God, I can finally breathe.
Cool, I am very glad for you. You don't maybe want to move a little further away from the field of explosive poison? No? Okay. I'll be right there.
Ah, right, what were you saying?
You sure you're okay? You seem a bit out of it.
Fine, fine. My mind. Not what it used to be. I need to go. For you. Your trouble. Ta.
Okay, well,
Slow down.
obviously there's stuff out here I'd like to get a closer look at, but I'll have to figure out how to deal with this mess first. Mage Hand's already gone, otherwise that might have been a stopgap solution. And sadly, Rex cannot actually manipulate things. Shovel can, but as we saw, even the pitter-patter of his tiny feet was enough to start setting these things off. Though if we could potentially douse that torch... We'll have to think on that a bit. For now, let's head back, see what Dareth and Bailen have to say. Actually, you know what? We're already over here. Let's, embark on a quick little detour. Resolve some lingering plot hooks. Oh, nice. Elixir of Hill Giant Strength. I can certainly make good use of that. Anyway, let's go off the hook. Ooh, also,
Blood comes easy these days.
while we're here, I just realized there's something else we can do. Because it turns out that while Sovereign Spa would not share his secrets with us, Sovereign Glut here can also raise the dead.
Staying out of sight.
Yeah. About as trivial as I figured. Solo hook horror was never going to stand a chance, even without the boots of Stormy Clamor. But he can still serve a purpose. Rise from your grave.
Silence! I am breathing life.
Hey there, pretty girl. Hook, 2d6 plus 4 piercing, with knockback and chance for bleed. That is not bad at all. Pounce, leap at target, possibly knocking it prone. And multi-attack. Aim 2 attacks at prone targets and possibly make them bleed. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. It's a shame these guys didn't hit us as a pack.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
So how do we heal this guy? Is he a plant or is he undead? I'll putter with that off screen. For now, though, it looks like we're in for another fight here. Let's get a gander.
Have to keep going.
Ah, there's the root of our problem. Oh, wow. Yeah, this guy's already lost. We immobilized him with that opener.
Ready for anything.
So, now we just plink him to death. Could have just bounced him into oblivion, but I want that hook.
My path
Also,
is
now that I know these guys can push, I don't want to get anywhere near them on this precarious terrain.
For the charmer. Shadow lag. Soldier. 1, 2.
Cloak and dagger, my favorite. Swift and lethal.
Where do I go from here?
And we're good.
Breathe deep and move.
There's our hook. And there's our susser bark.
It's been a long day.
Susabark.
Better
Now
stop to
I need
rest
someone
soon.
to craft it all. The forge at the blacksmith's house should do.
Right, right. So just one strip of bark on this entire tree, huh? Feels a little silly, but I get it. Same reason we only get one hook off of each of these horrors. Artificial scarcity. I've always got mixed feelings on that. Hey, Philro. As a dungeon master, I always took pride in careful loot placement, and that included creature and, natural resource yields. If players felt like their treasure was coming up too light for a session, it's usually because they weren't looking hard enough. There was plenty of treasure to be had. You just had to broaden your definition of what treasure might be. Okay, so I need to put some thought into how we're dealing with that. For now, let's go catch up with Dareth and Bailen. We also never figured out what's going on with this. We did just have a slight tremor. So in theory, we've got something else digging around down here.
Looking into the hole, you see only darkness. It's impossible to tell how deep it goes by...
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm guessing it's another bullet, but I have no idea what we're actually supposed to do there. Perhaps a quest we haven't unlocked yet. We'll just put a pin in it for now.
My friend! Bibberbang. Curious. Beautiful. But dangerous. Next time. More careful next time. For certain. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, don't mention it. I'm glad I found you before it was too late.
Me too. Yes. Very glad. Someone's got to look after Dareth. Anyway, what were you saying?
How'd you even end up like that, anyway?
Noble stock. Yes. Dareth needs noble stock. Mushroom. Good stuff. And the ledge. Yes. I was on a ledge. Crumbled to bits. And I tumbled down.
Ah, I see, yeah. That does explain a few things. You know, you're taking an awfully big risk going out there by yourself like that. The Underdark's not a safe place.
The shop. The shop needs all we find. Bone cloaks. Baldur's Gate. Anything from... anything sourced here. Very high rate of profit.
Sure. So, what exactly is it about noble stock that makes it worth risking your life over?
Mushroom. Powerful. Did it once it for a brew. She's very good, my Did. Very good at a brew.
Yeah, she does seem pretty good at brooding. Just getting a quick peek at what we could have gotten if we'd stolen his pack. Okay, nothing I'd really missed there. Though the fact that he wasn't even traveling with weapons is kind of telling. Let's have words with Dareth.
Might as well go. Look at that. Got my useless old man back. I suppose that's your doing. His hands are empty as a whole. We'll have to send him back out soon enough.
You know, he's not really cut out to be down here in his current condition. He was seconds from death when I found him. You should really take him home.
Please, Bailen's got a job to do. We can leave when he's done it.
So you really don't care if he lives or dies? Aren't you two married? Don't you love each other?
Love? Never heard of it. Bailen's meek now, but he used to be a rotten old bastard. Treated me like an old shoe for 70 years. Losing his mind was the only good he ever did by me.
I mean, look, I'm sympathetic if he was abusive, but there are other ways that you could have handled this. I mean, this is pretty messed up. I don't know how bad he was, but taking advantage of someone who's effectively brain damaged is pretty abusive. Maybe I can find whatever he needed. Noble stock, right? Then you can take him back to Baldur's Gate.
Collecting noble stock. Valuable mushroom. We've a shop in Baldur's Gate. The locals go mad for it.
What exactly does it do?
Nearly nothing it can't cure. Blindness, poison, hair loss.
Oh, is that so? And what about your husband's condition?
Probably. But Bailen in his right mind wasn't worth half of noble stock. I know him better than anyone. Got the scars to prove it.
Right.
Years of terror. For what?
Man, I am not sure how to approach this one. It sounds like they're both pretty terrible people. Gloves of Uninhibited Kushigo. The wearer deals an additional 1d4 damage with throw attacks and attacks made with improvised weapons. Forsaking his infamous armor, Kushigo left Irishi's body and wandered naked, without thought or care, into the barren countryside. The land was flat and desolate under the red gold sun, but compared to his lonely heart, it seemed alive with joy. Well, that is obviously going right to Karlach, who is currently rocking Gloves of the Growling Underdog. Okay, yeah, we can dump those. She's more of a range character at this point anyway. Actually, we'll toss those to Lae'zel. Actually, don't remember what I've got on Lae'zel right now. But obviously, the extra throwing damage is a must on a dedicated thrower.
Enough waiting. I crave blood.
Oh, the gloves of missile snaring, right. Man, I do like having those on her.
Looking ahead,
I will think about that. I mean, logically, the growling underdog would be better.
These boots have seen everything.
But I just feel so cool when we snatch arrows out of the air, you know? It sets me all a-quiver. That said, let's hit the pause button real quick. I'm going to go futz with yonder cavern. Right back. Hey, we're back. And, yeah, it turns out that it was just as simple as dousing the torch remotely. Once the flame component was removed, there was no risk of explosion as we cleared the rest of the Bibberbang. Though, obviously, that would not have been a solution if Bailen were still out there, because the poison would have definitely killed him. But given that we've already rescued him, this now allows us to freely explore the chamber. We've got a single noble stock over there, clearly marked as a quest item.
Something over there.
Ooh. Though, truth be told, I have not decided how to approach the whole Dareth and Bailen situation. They both honestly seem like terrible people. And I don't see any way we can really resolve that without one immediately victimizing the other. I don't know. I mean, short of just hand-waving it with a skill check, I just don't see there being a happy ending to their tale, no matter what we do with this noble stock. We keep it for ourselves, and eventually she gets him killed, trying to find more. We hand it over, we're essentially rewarding her abusive behavior, and at best it buys him some time before, she needs more, and then gets him killed trying to find more. Or we use it to restore him, in which case he returns to his abusive and likely vindictive self, and promptly takes it out on her. And honestly, that's not even getting into the question of how he got in this condition in the first place. Considering their relationship, I would not at all be surprised if she was behind his current addled state. It's a very grim story, surprisingly so, even for a game like Baldur's Gate 3, which, generally speaking, has not shied away from things like torture and body horror, Because in this case, it's not something clearly inhuman or fantastical like a Lithid or Githyanki. It's a parallel to modern, real-world domestic abuse, which makes it feel a lot more visceral. Like, I don't even want to be involved in it, let alone try to ham-fistedly resolve the situation myself. Huh. No idea what's going on over here. It's like a little wine nook. With a cup of oil. Weird. Near as I can tell, a unique variant of the common grease bottle, but why? I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys might think. Personally, I am currently leaning towards just keeping the noble stock for ourselves and leaving those two to their own devices. Which, again, long-term is bad for Bailen, but every other option is some flavor of terrible, and at least this way we get to keep some noble stock, which in theory we might have another use for. Alright, well, we didn't get much in the way of satisfying answers over here, but we did at least get some loot. On we go. I suppose at this point we should pop over to the Sverfneblin village. Brace ourselves for the sudden but inevitable betrayal that I'm sure is to come. And then there is one other offshoot we have yet to explore. The pathway down I earmarked shortly after we first came down from Auntie Ethel's place.
The fanfare is sung. The rot is cleansed.
Okay.
Come. We must speak. tumor is excised. The Dwerga are dead. Here I break ground. From the dark will a mighty circle rise. My song will fill the grotto. Death Doer. The grotto may sustain but one sovereign. In the age of Glut, there may be no spore. Eliminate the other sovereign.
Oh. Wow, okay. So there is a sudden but inevitable betrayal, just not aimed at us? Interesting. I will admit I hadn't considered that. I really kind of just assumed he'd express some violent or sociopathic disdain for surface dwellers or non-fungal life forms in general. You would turn on Spa after everything they've done for you?
A fate it has earned. My circle long suffered while the Dwerga flourished. I sang to Spore for help, yet it cowered in the grotto and let my people be slaughtered. Choose, Smooth Mind. Help me grow a mighty circle and reap the reward, or protect the precious poltroon as it waits for the circle of Glut to devour it whole.
Yeah, I think we're gonna sit this one out. Spa hasn't done any wrong by us, so whatever is going on here is between the two of you.
It is my right. It is my right.
Its delicate harmonies turn to scrapes and scratches.
Your corpse will birth my circle.
Ah, there it is. Okay, well, now I can resolve this situation. Oh no, hook horror. Ah, guess I should have seen that coming. I was really kind of hoping it was attached to us and not to Glut, but yeah, realistically, I suppose that would not be the case.
I am fury. I am death.
All right. Let's resolve yet another hook. There's the hook. And now for a glut of violence.
Ready for another round?
Or perhaps a glut of hubris.
Handy.
I will say, though, I'm surprised they didn't have him raise at least some of the dead Dwergar and Svirfneblin first. I mean, he's got a whole field full of potential cannon fodder here.
So much for peace.
But instead, we're once again facing off, essentially one-on-one, aside from the single Spore Servant we brought with us. Though I will admit, Glut's no slouch. He might actually do some damage here.
I will ascend. Time to strike.
Survival is all that matters.
Oh. Oh, wow, yeah, that's like 50% damage on Shadow in a single hit. Though now it's basically over. We already had him below half, so no way he survives another turn.
Dull moment.
Glut was not meant to be. We saw to that.
A sovereign with no subjects. Glut won't be mourned.
Feels a little harsh, but not inaccurate, I suppose. Myconids don't really strike me as the most emotionally invested creatures in the first place. I do feel like they could have set this particular fight up better, though. Because, like, in theory, if you had sided with him against Spa, that would have pitted you against an entire village full of Myconids. Well, no, not if the rest of Spa's circle immediately ceased hostilities once Spa was dead. In theory, then you could just nuke Spa. I don't know, it just feels like such a waste to have all these bodies lying around and not have Glut make use of them. Like, personally. Well, I guess it would come down to how frequently sovereigns can actually raise Spore Servants. If they can actually do it spontaneously en masse, I imagine there would not be a giant pile of corpses next to Spa. He was clearly working on it over time. I don't know, I feel like they could have still worked with that. Like have Glut dismiss the player after they make it clear they're not going to get involved, but invite the player back for a reward later.
Corpses.
And then when the player returns, of course, Glut's already raised a bunch of cannon fodder, and the player is once again presented with the ultimatum to either help him or be forcibly recruited into his ranks, which, you know, would then lead to a much more satisfying battle.
The names of settlements are crossed out. Breachstone, Sinkhole, Salson, Lolth, Old Kell, Demons.
Yeah, it turns out the Underdark's dangerous. Who'd have thought? Not a great place to build your settlements. With the whole Glut thing, though, I mean, I will clarify here that I'm not actually being overly critical of how it played out. I'm actually just kind of caught up in brainstorming how I might have approached it myself now, were I running the encounter as a tabletop. But yeah, I think that would have worked, you know. Dismiss the players, tell them to come back later for a reward. Use that time to raise cannon fodder, to then try to force the situation when they return. And in theory, you could still have reactivity and player choice involved in there as well by essentially making it a situation where if the player does go away and come back later when you're stronger, they also stand to gain additional rewards as a result. More XP from the tougher combat, more reward in the form of things like scavenged goods or extra crafting components, you know, mushrooms and whatnot grown on the Spore Servants, as opposed to resolving the situation much more simply or cleanly by forcibly confronting Glut before then. You know, perhaps killing him the second he made his his initial plot to turn on Spa clear.
Hell of a combination. Get confused by one, blown up by the other.
Just tabletop thoughts? I do appreciate that BG3 tends to bring that out in me. Their encounter designs are very interesting. And I often find myself positing how I might have approached similar scenarios were I still back in my dungeon master days. Oh, okay. Toadstool survived. Cool. So ingredients are in no danger of exploding. But we have previously destroyed things like books or scrolls. Yeah, so let's see what we can do with this one. Shovel? Okay, there we go. So unlike the Bibberbang, we can actually have Shovel just walk right past these. That is good to know. Nice. Let's grab our loot, then we'll blow that up and check the rest of that little corner there.
What path lies before me?
I've been a little paranoid about destroying loot ever since Joaquin's Rest. Though in that case, I suppose turn-based mode did kind of trivialize it. Which I guess is technically something we could have done here, too. Oop. You alright there, Auric? Yeah, he's fine. Alright, let's go have words with Spa. Get their take on this whole Glut situation. Thula, how you doing? You seem to have changed posture again.
Another dream. Another order from that dubious visitor. It announced that we will find the answers we seek in the absolute cultist's lair, and offered another generous gift. A persuasive creature. It tempts us with power, expresses its admiration, its adoration. Avert your eyes whenever it appears, and do not avail yourself of this new power, no matter how alluring. You've no idea what damage it could do to us, how far into illithid madness it could drag us.
You know, Lae'zel, I didn't actually mean to talk to you, but this is still a conversation worth having. Though, admittedly a bit late to try to dissuade me from chowing down on tadpoles. I would agree that caution is warranted, but we should still investigate the cult. Learning more about the tadpoles could give us a way to remove them.
Yes, the one truth that fell out of its cankered lips. There will come a battle, but it will be one with swords, not mind games born of brainworms.
I mean, if mind players are involved, I don't think that's how it's going to play out, but sure. Regardless, I think it is safe to say that we have not yet seen the last of the woman of my dreams.
It is a certainty. I had assumed our parasites served a Geich elder, but I believe they serve a greater master still.
So, something worse than an elder brain? Like what?
A question that burns in my belly day and night. Elders and collectives abide by their own tenets. It would require a powerful creed to unite them. And now this voice, this creed, finds our own ears. If it reaches this plane, it may reach others.
Creed, huh? Seems we found the road to nowhere, and we're trying to escape. Good talk. Bula? Okay, so nothing new from her. Spa?
Peacebringer, be at home.
Yeah, about that. I'm afraid I had to bring some peace to Glut. I know you took him in, but he was plotting to overthrow your circle. Bit of a spore loser, that guy.
You are one with spore. Your throat tightens, then relaxes. The air is serene, your mind untroubled.
The songs we sing now carry your spirit. I first named you Peacebringer. I now name you Kin Spirit.
Neat. Thanks. So does that actually mean something, or is it just a new honorific? Huh. Still can't harvest ingredients.
Peacebringer, be...
Okay, well, I guess that's that then. Weird. I mean, happy to help, of course, but at the same time, standard cRPG design really led me to believe we'd get some sort of payoff for that. Regardless, I did notice a new line over here as well, whilst I was doing some off-screen inventory management.
Welcome back. Have you made any new discoveries?
Hey, Blurg. Great name, by the way. You guys have been here for a while, right? Just out of curiosity, were you here when the Dwergar attacked?
I observed the fight from a distance. Combat is not my field of expertise, but the Myconids handled themselves well enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Just wanted to see what you had to say about it.
I've never seen anything like it, Blurg. Is my species evolving?
Which I believe pretty much wraps up this region, aside from some mild cleanup down here, plus that weird extra subterranean path we saw around here, I think? Or over here? I'll poke around a bit off screen, try to pinpoint exactly where it was. As for Blurg back there, you know, I just wanted to make sure we pulled that thread as well, since this game is so twisty and turny with so many characters with hidden and ulterior motives that I would not have been surprised if it turned out the Society of Brilliance had inadvertently been tied into the Dwergar attack somehow, whether intentionally or otherwise, but no, it just seemed to be kind of a throwaway rationale as to why he didn't get involved in the fight in the first place. At least if we take him at his word. Which I am for now, but I will make note of it. But that's for future retcon to worry about. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, and we will pick up here next time, as we finish clearing these particular caverns. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, CrowkingLoR, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, Theory V23, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Anyway, what were you saying?